Hey, what's up everybody? It's Amaya. So today's video is going to be a favorites video. I know it's been a minute. It's been like, I think a year or more. I just never ever do favorites videos because I'm not someone who actually watches favorites videos. They're interesting to me sometimes, but for the most part, they're not really the type of video I watch. So I always kind of skip over them, and it's always the end of the month and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do a favorites video, and then I don't. Even though I have had a lot of new makeup come into my life lately, it was definitely more of a May thing than a June thing. So I actually feel really happy about all the products that I'm looking at in here right now. I think that they're all definitely favorites, and I am very excited to share them with you. So before we get into the video, if you have not already, check out my social medias. My Instagram is right here, my Twitter is right here. I'll have all my other social medias in the description bar if you want to check them out, as well as my lip color, what I'm wearing, and the links to these products. So yeah, without further ado, let's hop right in. Okay, so I actually have two palettes to mention. I'm wearing both of them on my eyes today, although you probably can't really tell because, I mean, it doesn't even really look like I'm wearing eyeshadow. But the first one is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette. Oh, this palette is just so beautiful. Since I got it at the beginning of May, I have just been obsessed with this palette. Oh my goodness. I bought this, I think it was like the week before my last week of school. So I think it was actually the end of April. It was the week before my last week of college, and I just remember buying it and being so excited. It was kind of like my end of the year present to myself. But this palette literally works for anything. If I ever have to travel anywhere, this is the palette I'm going to bring. I've used this on prom clients. I used it on my sister when she wants her makeup done. I use it on myself. I really feel like it's suitable for all ages and skin tones and looks. I can do something really dramatic and smoky with this, and then I can also just pull it out to use every single day, which I do very often. My favorite shades in here are Mulberry, which is this gorgeous sort of deep red. It looks very, very red in the pan, but I find that on the eyes it definitely pulls more brown, which makes it very wearable. I also really love Orange Soda right here. This is like the perfect warm transition shade. It is stunning. Rustic is also a very nice shade because it's not too warm and it's not too cool. It definitely is a nice neutral brown, which I feel like is sometimes lacking in palettes. You either have things that are very warm or very cool. So I feel like it's really nice that they included a nice neutral sort of brown. And for me, it's so hard to choose a shimmer that I love. I think bronze is definitely the most unique color, but honestly I think my favorite would have to be Fairy down here. I just think it's such a beautiful gold, and I feel like it does have a little bit of a sort of pink, sort of not duochrome to it, but definitely there's like some hints of pink in there. It just looks so beautiful on the eyes, gorgeous for every day. So there are the swatches of the shades right there. So you can see they are stunning. I find that this palette is easier to work with than the Modern Renaissance, which I also have, because I find that these don't have as much fallout. They're not as like heavy packed with pigment. So if you do go in with a little bit of a heavier hand, it's okay. Like with the Modern Renaissance, you literally tap your brush and you are good. With these, it's okay if you have a little bit of extra. Okay, so the next palette that I have been loving is actually an older palette. This is the Pixie and It's Judy Time eyeshadow palette. It's the Get the Look, It's Eye Time palette. Oh my gosh, this palette I remember seeing when it first came out. I remember thinking like, okay, cool, but I wasn't really interested in it. But I heard really, really good things about it. Then I saw it at TJ Maxx. I think it was like $7.99 or something like that. It was super cheap, and this is typically like 24 bucks. So it was pretty crazy. And I was like, you know what? I need to pick it up. I think it's gorgeous, and I honestly did not realize how much I was going to love this palette. This shade right here, which is called Good Morning. This shade is one of the most unique transition shades I have ever used. It's not super warm, but it's also not super cool. It's kind of like a, almost like pinkish, neutral-ish tone. I don't even know how to describe this color, but it is my favorite. I'm wearing it today along with some shades from the Soft Glam palette. This shade right here, which is called Tutu, is also super, super interesting. It's like a cool mauve-y sort of brown. It's so interesting. Like, you just don't see colors like this in palettes. I feel like there's such a good mix of mattes. These shades right here are very similar, so I do wish that they had like changed it up a little bit. These three shades honestly all look the same on the eye, so that is kind of annoying, but they're still so gorgeous. This shade right here, this first one, which is called Snowflake, is also really gorgeous. It's very creamy, it's very buttery, and it is a little bit sparkly, which I do like. It's a very pretty inner corner highlight, brow bone highlight. And then this gold right here is also really gorgeous. It's just a nice, easy gold. It's just so easy. You don't have to like pack it on or spray anything. You can just kind of take your finger, swipe it on, and it looks effortless and beautiful. I really am in love with this palette. I think it's amazing. I think it's gorgeous. So apparently this was the month of Wet n Wild because I have 3 Wet n Wild products to share with you. The first one is their baked blush in the shade Hummingbird Hype. This is so gorgeous. As you can see, I have almost started to completely wear down the bottom half of this hummingbird print, and I've only had this like a little less than a month. If you're my skin tone or lighter, this is going to be a really nice blush for you. If you are darker, this could also work as a highlight or a blush topper. It's a very unique shade. It's kind of like a golden copper with a really nice pink duochrome. I'm wearing it today, and I find that no matter what, I can just kind of pop this on, and it just gives me such a nice bronzy glow to my cheeks without being too much or too noticeable. Highly recommend this if you can find it. It is limited edition. I did see it at Ulta and Walmart, so if you can find this, check it out. I think it's beautiful. They have other shades, but this one, I think, out of all of them, looks the most appealing, and honestly, just from looking at the package, looks the best. Okay, so the second one is something that I've only been using for about a week, but I have to share it because it's actually a dupe for my favorite highlighter of all time. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder in Golden Flower Crown. This was sent to me by my friend Lauren, who I love. She is amazing. I actually recently got to visit with her. She's from Illinois, and she came to visit me and my sister, so it was so great to hang out with her and talk with her. But she actually sent me this highlighter as like a thank you for letting her stay at our house, which was so sweet. And I've been wanting to pick up this highlighter and also Blossom Glow for a while because the only other highlighter I have is the Crown of My Canopy one, which is a little too dark for me. I was always hesitant to pick this up, however, because it looked very gold, and I'm not someone who likes something too yellowy gold on my cheeks, but this shade is so stunning. This is what it looks like. I'm wearing it on my cheeks right now, and the reason why I had to mention this, even though I haven't been using it all month, is because it is a dupe for Ofra's Rodeo Drive highlighter. It has the same sort of effect on the face. So Rodeo Drive is a bit more intense and just the tiniest bit lighter, but on the face they give that same sort of like glossy, shiny, glass-like highlighty effect that I love. Then the last Wet n Wild product I have is the Wet n Wild Mega Cushion Contour. This is in the shade Cafe au Soleil, which I think is super cute. This is actually the only shade I believe they have. I don't think they have any others, which is kind of disappointing because this works for me and probably people that are just a tiny bit darker than me and maybe a little bit lighter, but it's not something that could work for someone very fair or very dark. It is my favorite cream bronzer that I have ever tried. It's not too warm, it's not too cool, and I just feel like it creates such a beautiful, flawless, seamless look on the skin. I just bounce it in with my beauty sponge that I'm using, and it just looks like you have this natural tan. I really hope that they bring out more shades because I think that this formula is beautiful. Okay, I have a few brushes that I want to mention real quick. The first one is this Sonia Kashuk blush brush. This I have been using non-stop for my bronzer, and let me tell you, I feel so awesome with this brush. I just love it. I feel like this is so multi-purpose. You could use it for blush, you could use it for powder, you can use it for bronzer, contouring, which is what I use it for. It's just so gorgeous. It's also so soft and such a pretty brush. Like, I just love the gold packaging, and I love the two-toned hairs. I just think it's really nice, and again, it's so soft. I feel like it's a very versatile brush. And I also have 2 Morphe brushes to mention. The first one is the B81, and the second one is the -1/16. It's a super tiny angled brush, and this one is a really nice crease brush. So I did this entire eye look today using only this brush. I love it so much because I feel like it just blends out the colors so effortlessly. You're able to use this for your transition shade without it being too small, but it also isn't going to go everywhere if you use it with smaller colors. I feel like you could use this for crease colors, transition shades, even like darker colors in the outer corner. I just feel like it's a really nice brush. You just want to be able to grab one brush, have it get the job done. I feel like this is an awesome brush for that. It's also super soft. I don't feel like it sucks up a lot of product. I also don't feel like it deposits too much either. It's just a really, really nice brush. And then this one right here, this little tiny angled brush, it's actually dirty right now, so excuse that. But I use this for putting some liner on my lash line when I'm wearing lashes. I actually didn't do that today, but typically I do, because especially with lashes with thinner bands, you can tend to see like leftover lash glue or just any sort of mistakes you made when putting on your falsies. So having something like this to kind of just conceal the band with some gel eyeliner or some black eyeshadow, it really is ideal. I really, really do like it. It's nice and thin, it's not too thick, and it's so tiny, which I love. Okay, so I just have a few more products to mention. The first one is the NYX Gotcha Covered Concealer. This is a waterproof concealer. I'm actually wearing it today, and I have fallen in love with this concealer. At first, when I first got it, which was like last year, it was just too dark for me, so I didn't really use it. And when I did, I was like, this just seems very full coverage, like it's gonna be very heavy on the skin. But let me tell you guys, this stuff really lasts all day, and it really is waterproof. I went cliff diving, which is where you jump off like these cliffs into the water, and I wore this and I was in the sun all day, and this lasted. When I got home at the end of the day, it didn't look perfect, clearly, but it did still look nice. I still had it on my face. It didn't completely disappear. It didn't run. I feel like this is a really nice concealer. So the next product I have is a primer. This is the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer. I know this is so expensive, but I had this little sample and it has so much product in it. I actually have another little sample and I'm really happy about it because this is something that I'm going to be using for a long time. I feel like this is one of the only primers that I have in my collection that I can look at and truly say, yes, you make my makeup last longer. Typically, I use primers for pore filling or illuminating, and I use a setting spray to keep my makeup on all day. Setting spray, powder, that sort of stuff. But this actually makes my makeup last for so long. I've worn this under makeup that I've worn for 12, 13, 14, 15 hours, and by the end of that like 15-hour mark, you cannot tell that I've been wearing that makeup for 15 hours. It looks like I've been maybe wearing it for 7 hours, 6 hours, maybe. I mean, I can't even describe it. I looked in the mirror at the end of a long day and been like, when the heck has my makeup ever looked this good? And the first time I used this, I was blown away. And since then, I have not put it down. If I need my makeup, especially on my nose and like T-zone area, which wears away very fast, especially my nose area, if I need that to last all day, I will use this. I love this stuff so much. So if you can find a sample, definitely pick it up. Get a sample from Sephora. I love it. And then the last two products I have are lip products. I'll start with the one that I am wearing today. This is the Kathleen Lights and ColourPop lip gloss in the shade Moonchild. This is my favorite gloss. I almost always have this with me. If I'm wearing a nude lip, I'll have this, maybe another product, or just this. I find that this is one of the only glosses that I truly can stand wearing and I truly like. I just love the shade. It's such a beautiful nude. It's like a pinky neutral nude. I don't find that it's too peachy. It's not too light. It's not too dark. It's not too cool. I find that it is so, so, so nice. I feel like Kathleen did an amazing job with this. This also has teeny, tiny, tiny, itty bitty little gold glitters in them, which you don't see on the lips, like at all. When a lip gloss starts to wear away, you do kind of see them. It's not sticky. I feel like it lasts for a pretty long time. I'd say like 3 hours, which I feel like for me, for gloss without eating, that's a pretty long time. I also don't find that it gives me that gross like cakey ring on the inside of my lip, which I hate. And I also find that my hair doesn't stick to it too much, which is definitely a pet peeve of mine. So all around, great gloss. I love it. Kathleen, you did an awesome job. This is amazing. And then the last product I have is a liquid lipstick. This is from The Balm, and this is the Meet Matte Hues Committed Liquid Lipstick. This is my perfect nude liquid lipstick. I use this on so many people. I've used this on my sister and I've used it on me. This is her favorite lip color as well. She loves it. Whenever she comes into my room to ask me to like put lipstick on her, she's like, can we just do like the normal, the good one? She calls it like, it's like the lipstick. This is so gorgeous. I feel like it's just a perfect nude, kind of peachy, but kind of pinky, just your lips but better shade. It's so gorgeous. I feel like I put this on my lips and my lips just look perfect. And the scent, It's like a mint chocolate scent, and this instantly brings me back to like 2015, which is when I got my first 2 liquid lipsticks in this formula. They were 2 different red shades, and I used to like wear them all the time and like smell them, and they were just so, it's just so nostalgic for me to like smell this. So that is it for this video, you guys. I hope you guys like it. Please give a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know what your favorites for this month were. Let me know if you like any of these products, all your thoughts, and I will see you in my next video. Mwah!